Straight into our first conversation, Kenya Sevens. You know, it's very interesting that we took up the name Shujaa because there was Kenya Sevens just about 15 years back, and Kenyans decided Shujaa, which was then the name of the second team, should be the name of the first team, and that's what we have now. And Shujaa and the Lionesses, they will be in action on Saturday and Sunday at the Nyayo National Stadium, 7-2. And to speak about that tournament, we've got the chair of the Kenya Rugby Union, Harriet Okach. Welcome, Chair.
Thank you for having me.
I will not start with the tournament. I will start with a good story. The IOC Global Climate Action Athlete Award for 2025 went to Kevin Wekesa.
Yes, it did.
The whole feeling for KRU, because, you know, when that news broke in the morning, everyone was talking about it. It's not every time you hear somebody who's making a change, and not just, you know, within the environment, but even within how KRU works.
Yeah.
Because he said, guys, no more plastic bottles, aluminium.
Yes.
For you.
Yeah. So Kevin Wekesa's initiative is called Play Green, and I could say maybe for him, maybe it started as a passion, but now it's grown into something really big, and I believe even after this it's going to be something bigger, because when you meet Kevin Wekesa, I'm not even sure if a lot of people know that he's actually a qualified engineer.
No, if we tell the stories of that team, people will start wondering if they are really the guys who go, you know, pumping others. Yeah,
and now with Play Green, he's started an initiative called Squats for Trees. So you do your number of squats, you post on your social media, he gets for you trees. His plan is to have at least 600 trees planted within the 40 days that he's doing this. And I think it just keeps growing. A young person like that, I think he's about 25 years old, yet he's thought of climate change and put it into action, how it's affecting the environment and put it into action. So it's a big deal. He goes around schools, even giving kids, you know, the right recyclable bottles, teaching rugby skills, holding rugby clinics, just so that people are aware of that importance and how it can impact the game and the environment. So well-deserved win for him, for us as well as Kenya Rugby. Yeah.
1,000 bottles a week saved at training grounds. How has that changed? I mean, even the way you do, you know, the management of water and the team training.
First of all, safety. Yeah, it brings safety into aspect because then no bottles on the pitch, recyclable bottles. It gives that opportunity for even the young boys and girls, and even us, to contribute towards a safer environment. And then even just saving the water, you know, because when they play and then they need to hydrate, if you give them that full bottle, the 500 ml, he's only able to just take a sip. And then, because he's running, it's fast-paced and all that, they throw it. I've seen that even happen with cycling and other athletes. They drink just a little, it's a sip, it's thrown. But when it's reusable bottles, then it can be sanitized and the next person, you know, uses it. Teamwork. Yes.
All right. So remember, by the way, you will have to give Kevin Wekesa his flowers at Nyayo. So be careful what you do. Just make it easier even to clean after that. 7-2, Kenya opting to host. I know some time back, everyone, you know, Kenya Sevens had hit high and people said, we need another leg in Africa. Can it come to Nairobi? But it's 10 years later, Kenya's hosting 7-2, first of 3 legs. The background work that went into securing this?
It was, so World Rugby put out a call to the different unions and said you can do an expression of interest to host, whether it's Division 1 or Division 2. At the time, I believe when we made that decision, or our CEO thought about doing it, because he called me, I was still director of commercial. So he was like, I want us to bid for this, but let's not put it out there first in case, you know, it goes either way. And it had been a lot of, so the minute he put in the expression of interest, then now there was a lot of back and forth, until eventually when it came towards the tail end, then one of the requirements by World Rugby was that government is supporting that application. So we now had to rope in. Of course, even before we made the bid, we sat down with the director of sports and the secretary of administration and told them, we plan to do this. I hope, I mean, the government can buy in. And they were like, please go for it, because our sevens are really performing out there. Our fans are the loudest wherever the sevens are. It would be good to bring it home. So when World Rugby said, okay, you've gone through all this, but now we need to ensure that your government is actually supportive of you hosting it. That's when the CS of Sports then wrote a letter supporting that the government was part of it.
Getting the bids and the announcement, because, you know, when these things are announced, everyone, I have seen the World Cup, I have seen the AFCON, when they are announced, there is always a lot of excitement.
Yeah. We were really excited as a union, because it meant that Kenyans were now going to experience both our teams on home soil. And the first leg, because this leg, it's more of a points format. First leg being at home is a big deal, because then you get that motivation, your teams get that motivation. And just to say that we are not playing because we are hosting, we are playing on merit.
Yes.
You understand? We deserve to be, okay, we deserve to be in Division 1, but whatever happened, and we're in Division 2.
No, we are still
so
mad.
We are playing.
We're still mad at that decision that was made the week that the team is playing.
I know. When they were already in LA, to be honest, yeah. But yeah, so both Shujaa and Lionesses are playing on merit, and we are hosting as Kenya. So just to be able to showcase what our boys and girls are able to do, or the young athletes are able to do, is an honor, a privilege, so to speak. And also showcase now Kenya to the rest of the world as a sporting nation, and that we have the facilities to be able to host this.
It's going to be a Kenya circle at Nyayo, so basically don't look for Kenya corner. But one of the things,
Nyayo, yeah.
Yes, so, but let's talk about the selection of the facility. You had a choice of Kasarani, then there's Nyayo. Why Nyayo? And what World Rugby has been doing behind the scenes to ensure that you meet, you know, the standards, the pitch, dressing rooms, facilities, and the support for that.
Yeah. So Kenya Rugby Union in 2023 hosted World Rugby Under-20 at Nyayo Stadium. It was easier for us to go with that because World Rugby had already sort of experienced Nyayo Stadium. Then when, just before the announcement, just before they now said we won the bid, they sent people down to inspect our facilities. And they were happy with, I mean, Nyayo before AFCON has really been improved. So the facilities are even better. The playing ground is good. Yeah. Wherever else, whatever was missing, they gave us a checklist, and Sports Kenya have been working on that with our people. So it's a good facility.
And talking about that, one of the other things that I know for an event that is at this level is how you take care of it for the public. You take care of the public that's going to be there. What are the checks that everyone must know? Probably is Douglas Wakihori Road going to be closed? During Chan, we had part of Uhuru Highway closed.
Yeah, so...
And Langata Road, just to secure that area.
Yeah. So like I said, so there's an LOC in place. And within that LOC, through the Ministry of Sports, the Ministry of Interior is involved. So security, the police and all that, they've sat and they know what it entails to hold not just the event itself, but the fact that it is sold out. They are looking at the repercussions of that, and they're putting systems in place. The last I heard is highly likely the area around that is going to be closed off, and then they'll have checks. So your tickets will be checked way before you even get to the stadium area. Yeah, there are points where they're going to check to ensure that whoever is walking in does actually have tickets. because there will not be any tickets on sale on the day.
Actually sold out. How many tickets? What's the number we are talking about? Because I'm being asked, nitatoa happy ticket. But I'm telling them it's sold out.
Yes, it is indeed sold out. Even us were pleasantly surprised, because a lot of times we end up having to sell. Actually, every rugby tournament we've sold tickets at the gate. Initially, Sports Kenya told us we could only sell up to 13,000. Then I think they were also not expecting that it would sell out so fast. So I believe...
That was 13,000 a day?
Yes, 13,000 capacity for the stadium.
For the stadium.
That wasn't going to be full. And remember, after Chan, the stadium has been redone. So there are areas that have actually been closed off for particular things like media and all that. So that sort of reduced the capacity of Nyayo Stadium. As we are now, I believe we've sold 15,000 per day. Yeah.
So 30,000 tickets all sold out. By the way, that was the same capacity, interesting enough. It was around the same capacity for
Chan.
For Chan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we were doing maximum 18,000.
Yeah.
So it's the same capacity. And having done that access, everyone, says, how is this funding done? We know what the sports fund does, and how they, how they will come in and give in the money. You have to look for commercial partners,
yes,
but at the same time, this tournament already has a title sponsor. So then,
which is HSBC.
Which is HSBC.
Yes,
so then, how do we bring this in?
Okay. So because it's HSBC, as Kenya Rugby, we already have even banking partners or financial partners. So for every commercial partner we were bringing on board, there are those that we actually had to get that okay from World Rugby before we could be able to sign up. However, we've had those who've worked with us, with the team, way before all this. Even the time when everybody turned, their back on rugby, there are people like SportPesa who stayed and had that belief on not just rugby as a union, but on Shujaa as a team. So they are back again as one of the main sponsors of this, because we have different tiers. We had different tiers for commercial value, and SportPesa, who are Shujaa team sponsor, M-Pesa, who are both Shujaa and the women Lionesses team sponsors. So they've come back on board as sponsors and enabled us to bridge that gap, because as a government they are not able to, Ministry of Sports is not able to finance the whole event, because it's coming to a tune of over 200 million. So we've had to bring in partners. Even KBC is going to come in as a partner.
The initials around the 200 million?
The initials?
Kenya shillings or?
No, Kenya shillings.
Kenya shillings.
Yeah, Kenya shillings. So we have SportPesa who've come in a big way, both in cash and in kind, to help write off some of our costs. We have EABL, we have M-Pesa. So even on the day with M-Pesa, we are going to have internet, Wi-Fi access for everyone, and they are going to be able to, they are setting up the media center so that we're able to showcase. I mean, guys are able to watch live the games. That's broadcast. But then we also have other sponsors like Crown Paints, and we have Coca-Cola who've come on board. Today we are signing Kenya Power Foundation. So it's attracted a huge number of partners, and we are actually really, really grateful because, number one, rugby is not a cheap sport, but most importantly, hosting such a tournament is not cheap. You have to bring in people to help.
And I would like to also, we know the team is being named today. Actually now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I hope my colleague Wavina will be there, and we could just have that moment, have it as part of this broadcast.
Yeah.
But we have to, support has come through for Kenya Sevens through the National Olympic Committee of Kenya. They've gotten the scholarships, and so the women's team were in Spain, the men's team have been in South Africa. What's the story here? Getting so that we can get the team, to get the preparations right, and see that after the next two legs, Shujaa can then play in Div 1.
Both Shujaa and Lionesses.
And Lionesses.
You can't just focus on one. And
Shujaa and Lionesses.
And we are live.
The two teams. Makosa
lazima support. Yeah, ile ya ukweli.
Ukweli. Ukweli.
Yes. So what was your question?
Yeah, I mean, the support that you received and how it's, put that gap.
It has. I mean, I know there was a comment I read on social media where somebody said, it's amazing that for the first time in a very long time, Kenya Rugby Union has managed to take not just one team, but 2 teams on high performance training outside of Kenya. And that wouldn't have been possible, of course, without World Rugby and our sponsors like SportPesa, M-Pesa and EABL.
Now, looking at it, because there's a whole depth of getting these teams ready, making sure that over the next 2 legs, everything works well, because this is just building up towards, and generally it's towards LA 2028 to make sure you get back to Division 1, even with the crazy, with the crazy setup World Rugby have, and sustain the team as players age. There's a transition that's always in place. How are you working, with your technical staff to ensure that happens?
So it's we have the feeder program through the clubs and of course through rugby development. And for a team like Shujaa, then they also have Morans, where the coaches go out during the local circuit, or should I say the SportPesa national sevens, as well as they go around during the national leagues, the Kenya Cup Championship, and use that moment to identify possible players who could come and play for the national team. Then they are fed into Morans, and then Morans then feeds into Shujaa. The same happens for the women's teams, but we don't have as many clubs having women's team. Like I said, rugby isn't cheap. So even having 2 teams for a club, a community club, is very taxing. But in time, I believe this is improving because even the Ministry of Education has now agreed to include the 15th girls competition in their program. So in time, we'll be able to at least have that sustainability without a break.
I know you requested that this be short, but because you really do not, we can continue.
It's okay.
We can just roll on, okay? Because I know you really want to be part of, that team announcement. But let us now talk, about seeing how much more can be done in terms of, hosting such events. We've hosted the Africa Sevens recently for women, and you could see the interest in the sport coming through. The Safari Sevens, it's always a story to tell. Let's put all of this about how you're pushing that so that there's that return to a situation where Kasarani becomes too small. We've had it once, I think, 2013, 2014.
I doubt we are going to do Kasarani now because Talanta Stadium or Raila Odinga Stadium is coming along really well. And government has said that's going to be specific to rugby and football. So from Nyayo, then looks like rugby is now going to move to Talanta Stadium.
Actually, it's purpose built for rugby and football.
Yes.
No track.
No running track at all. And it's beautiful, yes. So it's upon us as the administrators of the sports to ensure that we are able to showcase what we as a nation are able to provide when it comes to the infrastructure that's available. However, we can be able to do more so that other countries we get to a point where other countries can also come to Kenya for high performance training. Yeah, there are teams that actually, we have quite a few teams within rugby that actually request to come and play our teams and use that as training before they go for these competitions. Yes, and so as a union, we are very intentional in bidding for different tournaments. So like you rightfully said, we have Safari Sevens, which is an invitational international tournament. Then we had Rugby Africa Women's Sevens. This year we're going to have HSBC Division 2. And then we are going to have Rugby Africa Women 15s. We are hosting that as well as the Sevens one. And Victoria Cup is back as well. So All these are going to enable us as the union and as Kenya showcase to the world what Kenya is actually having, what capacity we have to be able to host such events.
Well, very interesting that, you know, you mentioned a lot of this. And looking at it, for the teams that are coming in for the E72, I think we've seen that the US are here. China here.
Argentina. Germany came last Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, Argentina, remember, it's the women's team, not the men's team. The men's team were in Australia over the weekend. So let's take a look at, you know, the kind of arrangements that he's done, and to make sure that they always feel at home. Because do I call it a weakness, or is it an inherent part of our culture? We are
super hosts.
We are super hosts,
yes, as country. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it starts at home. There is the infamous vikombe za wageni.
Tuko nazo. Yes. So yeah, we had to do ground logistics. So that's accommodation, transport, medical, all those, and that's been taken care of. And even just from the welcoming at the airport, you'll see we've partnered with Magical Kenya. So you'll see how there's a lot of razzmatazz around that, so that when these teams arrive, they start feeling that Kenyan hospitality right from the airport throughout the time that they are here. The other thing that's in place is through Magical Kenya Tourism Board, the teams will have access to visit the Nairobi National Park, which is the only national park within a city globally. Yeah, it's an experience like no other. And through that, as Kenya Rugby, not just as Kenya Rugby Union, but as Kenya, we are going to be able to showcase to the world what we have to offer besides now the sporting side of things.
For the fans, there's a time when rugby, if Kenya is not playing,
there's no one.
Everyone leaves the stands.
Then we come back.
So that place where they go, what's been planned around Nyayo, what is known as the Sherehe Corner?
Okay. So we've designed this event, a tournament, to be family friendly as well. So we are going to have a kiddie corner with minders. So parents who come with kids, because kids tend to be restless. When they're restless, you have somewhere within the grounds that you can be able to take your kids. They'll have minders. You'll be given a tag. You leave your details so that if in case of any emergency or anything, they're able to contact you. But you can go watch the game while your kids also have a different kind of fun. And then through EABL and Capital FM, we have the usual Rugby Sherehe. We have a village as well that's going to have Kenyan culture. So from food to entertainment to merchandise, that's all going to be there. There's a lot for people to do within the Nyayo National Stadium.
Something else, by the way, we always talk about this. I'll give from an experience. You know, Kenyans ask questions, and actually they're very tough ones, because yesterday, the Moroccan side with Casablanca, their fans came in and they had flares in the stadium and a drum. But people ask about other things. Just what will you not allow in the stadium? I know, for example, the horns and that are not accepted.
No vuvuzelas are accepted, no bottles, no glass. You can't come in with any glass. Anything that can be like a weapon, that's not going to be allowed. You can't, it's a whole list, but it's going to be, we are going to put it all out within our socials so that people are aware.
But at least the weapons, that is automatic. Glass.
Nothing glass.
Nothing
absolutely glass. Nothing glass. Don't even carry, I don't know, pen knives and all those things. Don't, because they won't be allowed. They'll be confiscated.
And no vuvuzelas.
No vuvuzelas. Absolutely no vuvuzelas.
Can I come with my Mokorino friends with a drum? That's allowed.
Yeah, because I've seen some of our traveling fans. They usually have the drums and it's allowed. Yeah, so.
All right. So we are all going to be there, and the one thing I want you to do for the 30,000 people, if I was to count them that way, 15,000 for Saturday and 15,000 for Sunday. What's the message to this group of people who've bought out the tickets and we put all the color and the noise at the National Stadium?
First and foremost, of course, thank you. Thank you so much for showing your support to Shujaa and Lionesses by purchasing the tickets. When you come. Please come with your voices, please come with your hands, so that we're able to cheer both our teams to top place and see that they go back to where they actually deserve, which is Division 1. So kujeni tuonyeshe the rest of the world that yes, Kenyans, we can be loud out there, but we are even louder when you come home. And for the first time, World Rugby is going to experience what it is to be a Kenyan fan, because we are not going to have, this time they're not going to have a Kenya corner. The whole stadium is going to be Kenya corner, thanks to you. So karibuni, kujeni tushangilie Shujaa na Lionesses. Asante.
Well, so you've had it from the chair of the Kenya Rugby Union, Harry Okach. This weekend, a big rugby festival, HSBC Sevens 2. We are going to have 6 men's teams, 6 women's teams, including Shujaa and Lionesses. And Saturday, there's only just going to be a short break of about 40 minutes in the program, just a short break. And then after that, you can make all the noise. And the program has been set in such a way that you will not leave before a Kenya Sevens team plays. Those matches have been set right at the end. And the last game of the tournament is going to be Kenya against the USA. So look out for that. You have one reason to be late at the National Stadium that weekend. Asante sana, Chair.
Thank
and
you
all the
for
best.
having me.
And you mentioned KBC. We shall wait.
Munakuja.
Tutakuja. We will be there. We have to tell the Kenyan story.
Yes.
Every moment as it comes.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you.
We'll be taking a short break.